All right, well, it's another episode of What's Going On, and it's still tennis because it's the men's final, okay? Novak facing off against Stefanos. It's going to be a great match, and I predict a bit of a thriller, okay, in Melbourne as these two great players face off against each other. Dilenthi is here once again with us, and she's going to talk about her favorite player, Novak Djokovic. Well, he's kind of my favorite player as well. And Novak takes on Stefanos Tsitsipas, who's also kind of cool, actually. I have to say, I kind of like him too. He's a really cool dude. He gave a big shout out to Margot Robbie the other day. Did you hear that, Dee? He shout out to Margot Robbie.
Yeah, he's got the coolest hairstyle, I have to say, on tour. The coolest hairdo.
Yeah, so Novak said the other day. All right, so let's get to the serious stuff here. Two very good players. Novak, probably one of the best players to ever play the game, and Tsitsipas, a guy who's aspiring to do, walk in Novak's footsteps. It's going to be a great matchup. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's probably the most challenging. No, it is. It is the most challenging match for Djokovic for sure on Sunday. Djokovic has been near perfect, hasn't he? Very clinical, so much precision. It's so great to see him play the way he is. I saw that Tsitsipas has also improved vastly in his game this season already. Moving really well, serving well. It's really smashing that forehand of his. He's been there before with Djokovic. He's won 2 sets and lost the match at Roland Garros.
Yeah, it's French Open. Yeah, that was at the French Open.
Yeah, so he's coming, for him, that's his only experience in a final. In Djokovic's 10th Aussie Open final, never lost a final. So he's got all the confidence, all the experience, and all the motivation that he needs. At the same time, there's a lot on the line on Sunday. World number one, for one, is on the line. And a first Grand Slam win for Tsitsipas. So for him, it's sort of like a rite of passage on Sunday. So it's going to be, it's hard to call, but it's going to be a very exciting match, as for sure. I am thinking I don't know if it'll go all the way to 5 sets. I feel like it might be a 4-setter with, our favorite guy winning.
Yeah, but Novak has been playing amazingly well. I think he's playing some of the best tennis I've ever seen him play for a very, very long time. He seems very determined. He wants this. He's hungry for this win, and why not, right? He's probably trying to prove a point as well because he was shut out of the Australian Open last year. A little bit of controversy surrounding Novak as well. The media always kind of depicts, okay? People are saying he's faking this hamstring injury. Honestly, I don't see what the big deal is about. Let's just say for argument's sake, he's faking it. So what? He can wear a bandage on his hamstring and say why is that a big issue? Like, why are people like, this Aussie guy, the Dementer, or not Dementer, Dimino, and, people like that making such a big deal out of it. He's free to say if he's got an injury or not. He's got proved all the medical documents for it. Then there was another controversy with his dad the other day that he was pictured with some Russian supporters who are supporting the war on Ukraine, and lots of people are putting that on Novak as well, which again I think is ridiculous. Victoria Azarenka came out in support of Novak yesterday, and she said, look, if his dad is doing that, that's his dad's business. It shouldn't be Novak's responsibility, and Novak shouldn't be held to blame for that, but the media always likes to paint Novak as a villain, and I think Novak came out the other day and said, when other people are injured, everyone has sympathy for them, but when I say I'm injured, they say I'm faking it. So it's like he can never win. So I think he's got a lot to prove. Dilenthi, even in the match yesterday, where he finally won it very comfortably. The first set was very tricky. He was leading 5-1. He was serving for the set, and then he had a bit of a argument with the chair umpire because of time violation, and then he got a bit, mentally he got really aggressive, and Tommy Paul was able to come back and level it at on serve. So he is not he is human, he is capable of getting frazzled and losing his concentration, but once he got it back, he kind of destroyed Tommy Paul. So can you see him getting very emotional in this final? Do you think Tsitsipas will be able to get under his skin, and or is the crowd going to play a big deal, or everything else that's going on in Novak's life, or do you think he'll be able to shut all that out and go for the win?
I mean, listen, this is a guy who's now lived with this kind of, media, like villainizing him in the media. I think at this point of time, he's sort of developed a coping mechanism, right? And I think that the more I see him, I think the more controversy there is, the more motivation for him to actually win something. Because the best way to silence any critic is by just winning more trophies and breaking more records. And I think that's exactly what he's doing, right? I was watching his post-match interview, and he mentioned in there that, when he was asked a specific question as to why he thinks he's always portrayed as the villain in the media and how he copes with it, he said he has a switch on and off button. So he just switches it off when he gets on that court, and he focuses, like razor sharp, and focuses on his tennis, and just, it's business for him from that point onward. So he's done this time and time again. He's always had something surrounding him, but he's done it time and time again. He's proved to us that he is greatest of all time. And you know what? I'm not going to, shy away from it. I'm going to tell you right now that I don't think there's a debate anymore. I think this guy is the greatest of all time.
I'm on your side. I think he's a great player, and I think he's on his way to becoming, the best player or the greatest player who's ever played the sport. And I like the way he's playing right now. I mean, he's like, the other day someone said, he played a lob over Tommy Paul's head, and someone called it from the school of Hogwarts, because he is kind of magical. He has this way of and he has so much time. Like, he's so well balanced on the court. Like, even when people are just playing aggressively and sending him side to side, he has so much time to reach the ball, and he thinks so fast. He's got all the makings of an amazing player, and that's basically what he is. He's so good, and he looks good. He looks so fit. Actually, Dilenthi, I think for me, he looks the best I've seen him in a very, very long time, and that speaks a lot to his his will to really impress and go on and achieve these milestones, because like you said, he's a player who's been under the gun for a very, very long time. Everyone says that he's not as polite as Roger or as nice as a Nadal, so he cannot be the best player of all time. But I always say, and I think I've said this to you, I don't need my sporting heroes to be good guys. I don't mind if they're a little bit, if they lose their temper every now and again. I don't care what they do off the court, as long as the results come in and the playing is amazing. I say this time and time and time about a cricket team who's going through a bit of a rough patch and has been for a while now. But so this is the thing. Okay, so final question before we get ready for the big finals. What do you think the scoreline is going to be? What do you predict? 5-setter, 4-setter, 3-setter? How do you think it's going to go?
I think I'm leaning more towards a 4-setter for this one. I don't know if it will go all the way to 5 sets, but I'm going to predict a Djokovic win in 4 sets.
Okay, right. That's good. Again, obviously for the game and for the people who have spent so much money, these tickets are so expensive this year, the Aussie Open, and for the finals. Yeah. And I'm sure they're hoping for a 5-setter and a bit of a thriller in Melbourne. But you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to call it in 3 sets for Novak. I also was thinking of 4 sets, right? You and I was also going for 4 sets, but I want Novak to get it in 3 sets. It may not be as comprehensive as the Tommy Paul match, where the scoreline is 6-1, 6-1 or whatever. It may be 3 tiebreakers. It may be very close. But the way Novak is playing right now, I think he has a point to prove, and he knows Tsitsipas is an up-and-coming player. He's a great player, and I think he wants to show the world that he's not some old guy. Like, yes, when he was asked how when he was asked at one of the post-match interviews, how are you handling all this with the 25-year-olds being 35? He said, what do you mean 35? 35 is a new 25, right? So I think he has a point to prove that I can still take on these young guns and really, play really well and get a win out of them. So I think he has a point to prove, and I think Novak in 3 sets. Okay, Dee, thank you so much. I know you'll be watching. I'll be watching as well, and we'll be screaming at each other on Messenger.
Yes, I will be up at 3:30 in the morning to watch.
Yeah, it's really early. It's worth it, right? Come on, I know you'll be doing that in your favorite Novak t-shirt.
I will be in my Novak t-shirt to support him, and I'll be screaming at 3:30 in the morning.
Is it going to be just you? But your dad is a huge Novak fan as well, right?
No, he's a Nadal fan.
Okay.
I don't have many Djokovic fans on my side, so I'm happy that you are.
All right, Dee, thank you so much. Great as always. Let's see what happens, and I'll talk to you after the final. Well, there you go. Dilenthi says 4 sets. I say 3. I know I'm being a bit ambitious. It's a bit of wishful thinking, but let's see what happens. Okay, it's going to be a thriller, guys. Novak against Tsitsipas. It's going to be a great one, a great final. Let's hope for a thrilling encounter. All right, we'll talk to you after the final, but let's hope this is going to be a good one, guys. Enjoy the match. Enjoy your Sunday. Take care, and God bless.